listening to The Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three relatively grown men binge the iconic HBO series Sex and the City. So dust off those DVDs and grab yourself a white wine or even a Cosmopolitan and settle in. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to The Bradshaw Boys, a podcast. I'm Corey Cavan.
I'm Kevin James Doyle.
My name's John Sieber. I love that.
Yeah, we're a podcast.
We're just a podcast.
We're just a podcast.
And it's the beginning of a new era.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Listen, it's the 12 people that still listen that will remember the pre-days and the after days. We can't lie anymore. We can't be like, we don't drink and pod at the same time.
That is true. Yeah, we are drinking seltzer. We're
Seltzers.
drinking
Bowlers.
the thing that makes you burp. That's great to talk on air with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, we had a bit for a while. Whenever I'd get on Instagram, I'd say, "What's up, YouTube?"
Now,
And now it's the "What's up, YouTube" era.
yeah, that's true.
Make sure to mash that like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Smash that like, smash that subscribe. Hey, are you into movies? Are you into chick flicks and fucking John Corbett?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
It's not our first film.
No,
But it's our first
we've
of
seen
this new era.
We've seen New Year's Eve.
Yep.
We've
Shitty.
seen Holiday in the Wild.
We've seen Holiday in the Wild.
Like, whoa, Kevin, what was that?
Whoa, Kevin, what?
We need some transparency.
We've seen Sex
here.
and the City 1. We've seen Sex and the City 2.
Shitty.
One, good. Two,
And we are taking the deep dive into movie exploration.
Yeah, I know that I'm a stickler for context a lot of times, but I think it's appropriate, even though we've talked about it a million times in the podcast, it's appropriate to welcome people into the new era and say not only what this episode is, but let's quickly what's the new era.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna go through movies.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through movies that deal with love, romance, sex, maybe cities. We may even go to the country.
Ooh.
That's possible.
We may even go to Mykonos.
That's right. Exactly.
Sex in the City, as in
A city,
Mykonos, right?
Yeah, Sex in the City, a city in Greece. Yeah, we're not going to Athens.
Yeah, and we're gonna break these movies down, talk about their cultural context. We're gonna take, we're going to the Mount Everest, to the Mount Rushmore, to the
Mount Olympus.
the Mount Olympus of films.
Mont Blanc.
Yeah,
Mont Blanc.
yeah, we're gonna go through the big movies.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Is there a common theme between these movies?
Yes.
Are we gonna do Predator? Are we gonna do Star Wars? Lord of the Rings?
No.
Ooh.
I think we're looking at these films. Basically, we did 190 episodes of Sex in the City.
It's a lot of Sex in the City.
It is.
All right, it's time to graduate. It's
Yeah.
time, especially after the unprovoked assassination of Steve Brady.
Yeah.
It was time. It was time to leave.
The assassination of the deaf coward Steve Brady. Yeah.
What?
Miranda, what? I can't hear you.
Where's my apples?
We're watching movies?
When I said the deaf coward, I just meant that they made him not be able to hear in the show.
Yeah.
You're giving him a deaf voice.
Well, no, I leaned in, but I backed off as it came out to make it more dumb. But yeah,
Kevin,
I started there.
Kevin, this is a new era.
I know. I was leaning on the fact that it was all audio, and if someone was like, "Why would someone make a deaf voice for Steve Brady? That was inappropriate." I'd be like, "It was Corey." That was definitely
It's
Corey.
hard. It's hard to do that these days now with video cameras. Yeah, we're doing rom-coms.
I think
Essential. I mean, I think we're gonna maybe veer into some other areas.
I think our white whale is something that we can't tackle. But we talked a bunch about just doing When Harry Met Sally, and we're like, yeah, but then it's one and done.
Right.
Yeah.
So if that's the vision,
Is that the white whale of rom-coms?
it's the greatest rom-com.
I
of
think
all
it's
time.
also important to set the record straight. My relationship to rom-coms is very much like that of Sex and the City 190 episodes ago. I have seen very few, if any, maybe a long time ago. Like my exposure to rom-coms is limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you two at?
I would say I'm strongly in the middle. I've seen a lot of the hits.
It just takes some time. Sorry.
To get through the whole list of best romantic films.
Everything will be all right. I can't think of another line that has to do with rom-coms.
This is a Jimmy Eat World podcast.
It's Jimmy Eat World podcast now. Sorry, welcome to the middle. I'm Corey Cavan. I've seen the hits. I've seen When Harry Met Sally. I've seen You've Got Mail. I've seen 27 Dresses. But then there's a lot of other ones I haven't seen.
Yeah, and I've seen I basically have seen a lot of art films because that's what I spend a lot of my time doing. And then there's so many of these movies.
Humble brag.
No, it's the opposite because I thought I'd have more people to talk to be like, have you seen Hiroshima Mon Amour? It's a French film. People are like, have you seen Ghostbusters? I'm like, no. They're like, you fucking loser.
What a spot on way to lean into. I've seen too many art films. They're like, and I'm also lonely.
Yeah.
I've seen way too many art films, and also no one will talk to me.
I don't have anyone to talk about.
All I
it
do
with.
is stare at these leather shoes.
So I've seen a number of these, but like actually almost exactly a year ago, Harlan, our good friend, who we'll probably have on the podcast regularly.
Friend of the pod.
Now that we have a little studio to feed him whiskey at.
This is his whiskey stable like he's a horse.
But last year when it was like restaurants were closed, it was super cold, he found out I hadn't seen Jerry Maguire. And he's like, dude, you're fucking coming over.
I feel like Harlan loves rom-coms.
He loves them. And
Yeah.
also, so then we watched that. We watched another movie. And then when we were starting to put together some films for this, I was like, dude, it's not even because there's so many bad rom-coms that are just like a copycat of When Harry Met Sally that really like the second highest grossing, and maybe it's good, but the second highest grossing rom-com of all time is What Women Want, the Mel Gibson movie.
Crazy.
And it's like, I don't know if that holds up well. That movie is similar to just Mel Gibson himself. I don't know if it holds up well.
I think What Women Want in that equation is Mel Gibson.
To go away.
Yeah.
I was going to say just Mel Gibson doing whatever he wants in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's clearly not what women want.
That's not what women want.
Women just want him to get his Laker tickets back.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And didn't he call the cop sugar tits?
Oh, gosh. I think I
Yeah.
think he did.
He called her sugar tits. So anyways, so then I was like, listen, we're not going to lock ourselves into having to watch 27 Dresses and What Women Want when there are other incredible romantic films out there. So sometimes...
Was the cop a male?
I hope so. That would be less offensive, actually. But I was like, you know what? It would be better if we get... Sex and the City is great.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about great films that deal in sex and romance.
Yeah.
And so that'll include Titanic.
Ooh.
You know? Because I was like, that would be more interesting to break down Titanic.
Yeah.
You're the one who curated the list.
Well,
You talked closely with Harlan. You spoke with Katie.
Yes, I vetted the first like 10 to 15 movies. I'm just saying we were like, we got to have banger after banger.
Yeah.
We are going to fucking hit the ground running, and then hopefully
And then we can get to Marry Me.
we can get to Marry
Marry
Me.
Me.
Wow, you're Jennifer Lopez. Wow.
That's all. The only reason I'm doing this podcast is so after 190 episodes, I can convince you guys to watch Marry Me with
Instead
me.
of When Harry Met Sally, it's When Mary Met Johnny.
Yeah.
That's the name of the podcast.
Oh, I can't wait.
Our entire thing, just like that, like our goal is to like get someone on the podcast. Like we got Sarah Jessica Parker on last.
Yeah, I
time.
want to talk about that. Like what? So I want to set a podcast goal right now. Who is the leading couple of romantic comedies? Is it Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan?
Yeah, it's
So-
Meg Ryan.
It's
So-
definitely Meg Ryan. Yeah.
Well, what's her name? Miranda. They make fun of that trope, and Just Like That, she's like, I don't want to be Meg Ryan.
Okay, so
But then she also sticks her head out of a cab and says she feels like she's in a rom-com.
She's
right?
also like, no one's ever fingered me like that.
Yeah, exactly.
so first of all, I'm calling a shot. We're getting Meg Ryan on this podcast.
cool.
All right.
Who is?
Did I ever tell you a Meg Ryan story?
No.
I was on a work trip, and we were like on 3 different flights because our entire like work team was going on this thing. And a guy that worked on the show that I worked on, we were all going to the Super Bowl. And
Who's the guy?
He's a writer on a show.
Oh, okay.
He's a writer. His name's Jeremy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's a-
I thought it was Jimmy Fallon. and
It was
you were
not.
being-
No,
okay.
it wasn't Jimmy. It was a guy named Jeremy who was a writer for the show.
Jeremy Fallon.
Jeremy Fallon. It was Jeremy Fallon. But he was sitting beside Meg Ryan on the plane because all these celebrities are flying to the Super Bowl, and he was just like, "Oh gosh, okay, play it cool." And then Meg Ryan dropped her phone between the seats. You know how it's like super hard. Anytime you drop a phone between the seats, it's like super hard to
You have
get.
to use like the pincers.
Yeah, and so he said she was just like, "Oh gosh, just trying to get her phone," and he was like, "Oh, can I help? Like, what's going on?" And finally, she was like, "Yeah, can you call my phone?" And he was like, and she goes, "Here, I'll just give me your phone." And she just put her number in and was like, "All right, is it ringing down there?" And he was like, "I think." And then she goes, "Oh, here it is. Thank you so much. I appreciate it." And he's like, "Yeah, no worries." She goes, "Oh, here's your phone." And then he just was like, "I have Meg Ryan's phone number now."
Oh my
What do you text her?
He just, I don't know. And I was like, "Did you save it?" And he was like, "Of course I saved it."
I bet any sort of little interaction like that she has that to her is just normal. Like, oh, I don't have change at the grocery store. You know, anything. It's like in the other people's minds, they're like, this is basically the beginning of a movie.
I know.
And to
That's
her,
why-
she's like, yeah, it's just my fucking life.
That's
Like,
why when she goes to audition, she's like, "What do I do?" And they're like, "Just do what you do in real life.
Yeah.
You do rom-com moments all the time."
Yeah.
But
And then
who?
she gets off the plane. She's like, I do this bit where I
Yeah.
get like guys to fall in love with me because I don't mean to be funny. People just find me cute and funny. I mean, did you live in the 90s?
Yeah, exactly.
Is Tom Hanks also up there? I wanna make two called shots, and then when we get both those people on the pod, I want to play this clip. So Meg Ryan is one of them. Who is the second?
I mean, I think if we could get Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan.
Billy Crystal. We're getting Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan on the Bradshaw Boys.
At the same time?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think at the same time.
Just wanted to,
That's a little too.
just wanted to shoot to the moon on
We'll
that
shoot
one.
for the moon. We'll keep it in the solar system.
I get that. Yeah,
mean-
okay, we'll play this clip.
We could try and do Hanks. There's something, even though it's like,
I want Chet Hanks.
That's who I want to.
oh, dude, if we had Chet Hanks, that'd be sick.
Chester Hayes?
Dude, if we could get him to record the intro song.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
All right, we got our goals.
All right, so
All right,
so-
we got movies to watch.
let's start the movie.
Well, this is what I would transfer to. The reason why we're starting with this is because this is one of the highest grossing films of all time.
Okay,
It's incredible. It made 200.
we're starting with Avatar.
We're starting with My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Ooh,
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it. Corey,
I've seen it.
I saw it.
I have seen it, yeah.
you rascal.
You little slapdash rascal.
So this is kind of right up my alley. This kind of gets me a little chubbed up. My Big Fat Greek Wedding started as a one-woman play
What?
starring Nina Vardalos.
Nia.
Ni-
Nia? Or is it Nina?
I think it's
Dr. Nia Wallace?
Nia. It's
Nia.
Nia. Dr. Nia Vardalos.
Yeah.
Vardalos.
Yeah.
So she did it 6 weeks at the Hudson Backstage Theater in 1997. And then she said she wrote it to get a better agent
Oh,
as a joke. And it was so popular. And guess who fucking shows up?
Corbett.
A number of Hollywood executives and celebrities saw it, including Rita Wilson,
Okay.
who herself is of Greek origin. Do you know who her husband is?
No.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Do
Oh,
you know who her son is?
Chet Hanks.
Yep.
So guess
It all
what?
comes back.
And oh, holy shit! This Hanks production, Playtone, That Thing You Do, which we should fucking watch.
We should watch that movie.
I've seen that movie.
Such a good movie.
That Thing You Do, Playtone is his production company.
Yeah.
They made the movie.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Hanks made this?
Yeah.
That's why Hanks is coming on the pod.
Well, when we get Billy Crystal on, we'll tell him that Hanks made this movie.
Yeah.
And then when Hanks
That's
is
the
on, we'll tell
only
him.
thing we'll tell Billy Crystal.
That's it. And then we kick him out.
So let's watch it. So just a quick breakdown of how we're gonna watch these movies because I feel like we need to discuss that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna watch them all in 3 acts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just very similar to what we did with Sex and the City. Do about a half an hour or the first act.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna watch it and then we're gonna come back and talk about it.
Yep.
And the reason why we're doing that is because all the film podcasts that I listen to, it's kind of like it was so fun when we would do Sex in the City to like not know
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah.
And I just think it'd be fun to like have the experience of
Of
like
not knowing.
of us not knowing, us coming back and getting to do that. And that hopefully we can go into deeper themes. Like I think after this we'll come back, we'll just be like, oh, like I didn't know that you could soak feta in brine. You know, or you could be like, what is
What is a Kalamata olive? How is it different than a green olive?
yeah, and things like that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we
What
try
is
to
spanakopita?
And
Yeah.
then we could be like, did you know 2,000 years ago in their culture, it was cool to have sex with kids. Is there a scene of that in My Big Fat Greek
I
Wedding?
just love the people that have signed onto a rom-coms podcast, not knowing the past history of the Bradshaw Boys. Like our normal fans are like, oh, we expect this. But
Okay, listen to the
Stick around, please. If you're new, stick around, please.
You know what's worse than the past
We take
history
it
of the
seriously.
Bradshaw Boys? The past history of Grecian culture.
I would say pederasty. Not a great history.
All right, let's fucking watch My Big Fat Greek
All right,
Wedding.
here we go.
All right, Katie's going to do a summary. Katie, take it away.